Hey there guys, just doing the review now for Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I'll do a separate one for the DLC, or maybe I'll do the DLC together. I don't know actually, it's kind of a tricky one. I guess we'll do them separate. So starting with Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't know how many hours I've got on this yet, but I think it's over 60. It's predictive because I haven't got all the parts together yet. So it's playing on the PlayStation 4 Pro, 4K HDR, beautiful. What else? Got all the collectibles that were quest-based, and as well as story-based stuff, though not in the DLC. We've done all the side quests, as far as I'm aware, and all the story stuff. So, pretty much as close as fully complete playthrough as you can get without it being tedious type of thing. So we, as ever, do the good, the bad, the ugly, and then the score. And as ever, this is a 99.9% spoiler-free review. What you're watching should be first gameplay. I don't even know how I get that. I'll probably have to download it or something. I haven't got the actual physical copy of the first part. I'll figure out something. What you're seeing won't be spoilerific or nothing like that. So yeah, let's start straight away. Let me get this document over here so I can go through, and we'll start with the good, shall we? So first, the good of the games. The game itself is fantastic characters, NPC, as well as the main voice acting, the lip syncing, the facial expressions, the facial variety in the animation is fantastic in this game. It's uncanny valley sometimes, but it looks really good. You look at their faces and you can see the reactions and emotions in their faces. Really, it's second to none. I haven't seen anything as good as in this game as far as facial is concerned, and character, animation, everything going together. Beautiful. Another great thing in this game is the fresh take on the post-apocalyptic story. I can't say anything about it, but it's post-apocalyptic. You should know that at least, and you should definitely check it out. It's definitely worth it. Story alone is worth it. I think the story alone is like 30 hours. So that should tell you a lot. Something like that anyway. Don't quote me. The world itself is immersive and full of lore, especially if you like listening to tapes, recordings, and if you like reading as well. There's a lot of reading, but there's a good equal amount. It's not, most of it there's an equal amount of both. So if you don't like the reading, you can listen at least. It's worth it, I'd say. Combat is a satisfying, challenging, and beefy thing. Will definitely get your blood pumping and your concentration focused, because you will need it. That's a pun, focus actually, but if you don't know, you'll see when you play it. There are some great side quests in this game that link to the main story, and you have some great rewards to be motivated to do said side quests and collections and things like that. More often than not, it pays off one way or another, so you don't get too much tedium or burn from it. There's also some nice audio and immersive music to match, some really nice sound effects, and I think things match what's going on in the atmosphere and that, and it can build a knot in your throat when emotional things happen, that music kicks in. Very cinematic, man. Okay, that's all of the good things that I can remember, and they're real fantastic things. They're all the things that you need mainly, right? So now the bad. So there's lots of fast travel, and it will require quite a bit of time depending on the distance, how long it takes to load in. It's a minor thing, but it's still a bad thing in this, because you'll do a lot of fast travel if you can do all the quests and all the things, especially if you're going to get all of the campfires. It's a big world and it takes a while. It can be a little tedious waiting for loading, but it's still worth putting in there as bad, right? No bad thing is it needs a better method. I think the game needs a better method for you, to help you find certain things. Some of the tomes and things that are about in the world will take forever if you look for them manually without a guide or whatever, and I'm not doing that. But if you do want to do the world ones, it's that the thing you use is not enough for it to be smooth and not full of tedium. And then finally, oh wait, is that the same thing then? Oh, and separately to that, it's kind of similar, but separately to that, for me, it's a little bit too much reedy for my taste. So that's a minor thing. I just kind of wish with all that voice talent they've got on that voice recording, I'm not quite sure why so much of it was readies as opposed to voices. but that just might be me being lazy. But there's a lot of reading if you know, and you might end up skipping some cool things because like, oh, there's a wall of text. Oh man, you know. But if you're like the book type, maybe that's a plus. I don't know. But I would have preferred it if it was a voiced option for it as well. Okay, now the ugly stuff. The uglies. There's a few uglies. So combat-wise, you'll have a situation where you end up aiming a lot instead of attacking. So because your right trigger is your fire, and your let me try and think what's happening usually. So your right trigger is your fire, but it's also your heavy attack. So what you end up doing oftentimes is doing a heavy attack instead of aiming because you've not pressed the aim quick enough or something along those lines. Stuff like that happens. You end up doing one thing that you don't want to do, which will take away vital seconds from you, which will get you smashed. It's not a huge thing, but it's kind of ugly, right? And it happens often enough for me to mention it and to put it in the ugly category. Another ugly is the inventory management, which can be very, very tedious with a lack of clarity what is safe to sell, what you should keep, and so forth. It's not easy to tell sometimes, especially different stages of the game. It's very difficult to tell whether you can keep a thing or not, or sell a thing, and you're going to need them damn shards. So it's pretty annoying. Inventory management could have been better. Hunting can be a tedious thing as well, because you might need, there's kind of like a blue drop and a green drop and then a white drop. A white drop is just meat and bones. The green drop is typically the special animal bone, and then the blue, sorry, did I say green? Green's for the green gives you the bone, I think, and then the blue gives you the skin, which is rarer, and that's just the blue being the super rarest. And it could take forever sometimes spawn wise. Now maybe there might be a way for you to just buy those things, and then I'm just doing it wrong maybe. Well, I was just doing it wrong, I don't know. But it was kind of tedious. Some of those hunts took like 40 minutes just to get the one damn skin thing. It's a random RNG drop thing, so that kind of sucked the nether regions for me. And then finally, there is no ability to fast travel into certain interiors, biomes, hubs, quest places where you have a transition where they're considered interiors and the map changes from the overworld to the interior map. You cannot fast travel into those, and they can take a while to get back into. Sometimes they're hard to navigate out. It's quite frustrating. And if you want to find certain things that you've missed, sometimes the only way is to climb all the way back up to how you got in the first place, or find a different entrance that wasn't there before when you first went in, and it can be a pain to get out of some of them. It's quite tedious again, quite an annoying thing. So yeah, that's all of the ugly things. So we had the good, the bad, and ugly. So finally we have the score, because I've got a little bit of time. I ain't got much time left. I've got some work bits. I've got to finish off 10 minutes of work stuff, believe it or not. So the score for Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, but we're focusing on the main game here, not the DLC. The DLC I'll do after, probably in a separate video, or maybe after this one, I don't know. But this score, the final score, we have to get the effect going. Final score for Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition base game is
9.5 out of 10.
It was very close to being a 10 out of 10, but when you write the things down and you think about all of the things that are annoying, yeah, it kind of like, I don't know, it's difficult to go full blown 10. And while some of those things are kind of nitpicky, a lot of those things stop you from doing the things that are interesting in the game, and they collectively come together to make it, a little bit more headache inducing. In reality, I could just as easily give it a 9 out of 10 for all those things, but just at how impressive the good things are, I've decided to give it a 9.5. But if someone said it was their 10 out of 10, I wouldn't argue with that. It just means that those things affected them less, and they did different things in different ways, or they discovered things a little better than I did to make those things less of a problem, or less of an issue, or this weren't an issue for them. Whichever way, it's all good and all fine. And so that is my final score for it. It's a fantastic, immersive, open world, post-apocalyptic RPG with some amazing visuals and attention to detail, and some of the most lifelike characters and story probably that you'll experience in video gamedom, and an easy, therefore, system seller for me. So that was my review for Horizon Zero Dawn base game. There should be one for the Frozen Wilds either after this video or in a separate video, I don't know yet. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like if you like the content, and subscribe if you like the content. Don't subscribe if you don't like the content. Don't follow if you don't like the content, but if you like the content, follow and subscribe. Put on the notifications so that I can bother you with updates of information of things you might want to watch that's similar to this, or even better. And follow on 2 more platforms, because YouTube's a little bit stupid with certain things. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in another one, I guess.